Hello and welcome back to Sarah's Country Cottage and Garden and to the final tree number 12 in the 12 trees of Christmas. I hope you've enjoyed this little series and I've certainly enjoyed filming them for you. And so this is the last tree. It's another big one. It's the same size as the one we have in our sitting room. And I thought before I put anything else on, I better show you what I'm up to. So I'll turn it round. So I've a long way to go with all these full boxes, and but I do enjoy doing this room. It's the room with my beloved, let's show you, Colefax and Fowler wallpaper, and lovely treasures that I've got from loved ones. My picture here and my settle here, but you can see I mean I've still got lots of little trees here and I don't even count them as part of the 12. And then on the back of this settle I've added this swag. This garland is from Home Bargains without the lights. I've added the lights, £8.95. I just think brilliant value, and I actually bought one and I've been taking it apart so that I can add the bits to other pieces. So what I want to do is add some, just to make a little, just to put frills above this frame to complement this swag below, and I'll probably add some baubles because I've got some pretty baubles from Beetham, but I've also got decorations from past years. So that's what I've been doing there. I still have to do everywhere. I mean, this mirror here, I usually have a little thing coming down here with a couple of, like, well, actually they're here on this table, these little bells, which I'll add with some sprigs. And I've still got our cloakroom, which is through that door, to do. So this actually shows you. So this is what part of the garland, and I took it apart. It was quite hard work to take apart. Obviously, it was really well made and threaded all the way around. So it was lots of cutting the thread and unraveling. But yes, so from there, I'm going to add some baubles, tweak it a little bit, just to make a nice little vignette over the mirror. So this is the mirror that I moved in the hall from the sitting room. And if you think back to my previous video, might not be the last video, might be the one before, several videos. God, it's hard work keeping count with these videos when you're doing 12 all together, or in a short period of time, I should say. But yes, so I took this off the wall in the sitting room to put the two pictures up of the thatched cottage and the village scene of the thatched cottages, which I took down from the other side next to the clock to put the rose picture up. Oh, my beloved rose picture. I do love it. So that's now there. And the picture that was there is now on the staircase in our gallery wall. So this you may have seen. Oh, look, I'm here in the mirror. Hello. Oh dear, I still don't enjoy seeing myself. Anyway, never mind. Let's crack on. So let me zoom in on these as well for you. These were two little ornaments and they just came with hooks. I've wired them together, had some green ribbon which says, you know, Noel and love, and tied the bow. Now I've not tied this bow. On this particular bow, I've looped it with two long lengths and it's done with wire. And there actually, so the mirror is hung up on a nail and the nail is quite close to the top because these two baubles are really heavy. So I've put the wire and wrapped it around the nail that the mirror is hung on. So it's also supporting the two chestnuts, or acorns, aren't they? The two acorns. Then this garland is about twice the length of that, and I folded it back on itself so that it was the right size to go over this mirror. And I've had this garland quite a few years. I can't think where I got it from, but I think the one that I got from Home Bargains is so similar and would work just as well. So, and then I've just added another battery powered light, and I've just arrived home at 5:15 and greeted, come into the hall, and these lights are on. So these lights are on here, and I can't wait to titivate and arrange it all. So this table was here, so I've moved it over here for the Christmas period to make room for the tree. And what I've changed is the lampshade, because it had a much bigger lampshade, which was this one here, which is my beautiful Roses shade by Kate Forman, which I got from the charity shop in Kendal earlier this year. I think they let me have it for like something silly like £2, or I think I gave them £5, something like that. So I swapped them round. So that's now going to be on this table. Just still got pumpkins and pears from our fall decor. So, but I might keep them out. We'll change I've still got on the windowsill to do, and this curtain shut, but what I will be doing is I'll be keeping this curtain open throughout the holiday season, and I will have a swag that I'm going to create coming down here. I'm going to go out and gather fresh ivy, probably bring trails across the top. And I love my gold. In fact, I've got gold bells here. Look, gold bells. So, oh gosh, don't move too quickly, Sarah. We don't want to make everybody dizzy. So I'll have lovely foliage coming down with a group of bells and a nice bow at the top. And again, it will be similar again on the inside where the front door is, the little porch bit. I will do the same there, which you'll view. But when I do a house tour, I will show it you all, and you'll see it all in full splendour. So back to the tree. So this is my Balsam Hill tree, and it comes in 3 parts. It's not pre-lit. I didn't want pre-lit because I love my candle lights and I like to be able to do my own thing. So, and I was saying, oh, what if they don't work suddenly or something like that? Anyway, so it's not a pre-lit. And do you know, I must have had this tree. I must have had it, 10 or 15 years, something like that. I've had it a long time. And I always remember Oprah Winfrey having one. And I thought, ooh, did she have them on her shows? I can't quite remember. Anyway, I looked them up. They provided them in the UK. And they had a really good sale when I got this one. So, yes, I've had this for quite a few years. And it's a slim version, which is great because it means we can still get round and go up the stairs. And it just works out so perfectly for this space. And I have also, because I do worry about my trees falling and tipping over, we did have the big fall. So the great thing about this one is it's next to the staircase and this big newel post. So I've got some thick, strong ribbon and I've tied it to it. So it cannot, hopefully, she says, fingers crossed, it cannot fall over. So there we go. So what I've added to it so far, and it took me forever last night. I am always so methodical with my lights. When I put them away, I take great care at wrapping them up so that when it comes to unwrapping them, they go on the tree with ease. But the first time ever, I don't know, is this age? Is it menopause? I don't know. But I ended up in knots. And it's not the first time this season with some of the little battery-powered ones. I've unravelled them and I thought, what am I doing? Anyway, I figured it out. So basically, I've got this set here of lights on. So far, there's 3 sets. So it's just this one set of lights that cover it from the head to the toes. And then I've got my candle lights, and some of them need a little bit tweaking because they're leaning a little bit. But I'll do that once I've got all the decorations on it, because as I'm touching and pulling branches and things, they'll fall and, slant to one side. So I've got 2 boxes of these beautiful candle lights, the same as the my beloved tree in the sitting room, which is number 6. These are the same candle lights. They're the same age. They've got to be 20 years at least old. And they just, yeah, thankfully they worked again. And then what I've added on here, so again, because even the Balsam Hill trees aren't that full, so I've added in lots of faux branches, snowy ones, twinkly ones, just to fill it in, because I do like the tree. You know, I don't want to see that center stem. So you've got a snowy branch there and a snowy branch down there, and I've just included them throughout to fill the tree. Then what I've added, and I've had all these for so many years, is feathers. And these are they're very fine down feathers. And I got these years ago off the market from like a haberdashery where they sell ribbons. They quite often sell the feathers too. And I group them together. I wrap a bit of wire around the end to group several together. And I just think it creates little drifts of snow. And again, where you've got like clumps of lights and cords showing that I don't necessarily want to see. And it is unavoidable in some places, but then in others, it means I can just cover it up with these drifts of feathers to represent snow. And I add flowers. So you can see here, I've got these lovely cream hydrangeas, and then I've got these lovely brown shade hydrangeas, and I've even got some real preserved slices of green apple on this tree. My beloved Christmas tree has got the red apple slices, and on here I've got the green. And then the other thing I put on are the roses. So I once got, and I can't think where I got them from, but I got loads of these lovely cream velvet roses. And all it is the head, it's just a head, and I just balanced them on the tree. So you'll see these cream roses all the way around. And then the other rose that I've got on here is like this, and they are on a stem, not too long a stem, and I just poke them through. Just poke them through and rest them on the branches. So all these flowers, nothing's wired. They're just all resting on the branches. So there you go. And then I've just started to add some decorations. I love these green old-fashioned baubles. So this room, this tree, will all be, oh, come on, are you focusing? Come on. There we go. So it's all going to be neutral. It's a neutral tree because it's quite a neutral room. I always think green is a neutral colour, so the green with the whites and the creams and the taupes is very neutral, and so that's what this tree is going to be. And I have a white little sledge to go under it, and faux presents, lots more ornaments, and there's lots more decorations to go on it. This is our staircase, and I've trimmed this. Again, it's just layered up. So basically I've got one garland, which is that snowy stem there. And the great thing about this garland is those are quite stiff and wired. They can be manipulated. And so I have just simply held it up against the bottom of the down poles of the staircase and tied it to them. So I've tied it in about 5 or 6 different places. And then everything else that you see is just poked through. So like this eucalyptus, again, the cheap garland that I got from Home Bargains, I've used pieces of that, just poked them through. I've got this lovely velvet holly that I've had for so many years, and again I can manipulate it because they're wired, and I can poke it through. And I've got poppy heads and little snowberries, and they're all just pushed and poked through. Then I've added these bells, and I think these were from B&M Bargains and Home Bargains. And again, those are already on a cluster of rope, as they are, the set of 3. And I've just put another piece of florist wire through I've pulled the rope through so it goes up underneath, got hold of it from the back, and then wired, or you could just have a piece of twine or ribbon, whatever, and just tied it to one of the posts. And I've done the same here, and the same with these little bells. So that is the garland. And then it's got 2 sets of battery powered LED lights, and the battery powers are tucked down the back so you don't see them. And I've just got wrapping the battery power lights all around the garland going up the staircase. So that, and it doesn't look right now. You're going to have to wait for me to finish it all. I'll come back and I'll show it you all. But that is where we're at. So just wait till you see this tree. It's going to be as full as number 6. Okay, so just a second, and with a little shaking and sprinkling of pixie dust, we'll see the end result. Okay, so this is where we're at. Pretty much all the ornaments are on there. There's probably a couple others that I'll put on yet, but I wanted to show you how it is now. As you can see, it's quite full, and they're all pretty neutral, but I'll show you in detail at the end, because I just want to show you before I finish it off. So you can see at the top, I've added these little silver white leaves, and what I also do that helps, because there's never much to cling to at the top of a Christmas tree. So, and you can see on that one actually, I've wired the baubles, and I push the wires into it rather than hanging, because they're always quite weak at the top, aren't they? I don't know if you find that. So now it's a case of whether I add ribbon in the same way that I've shown in previous videos, but I've also got, I'm wobbling the camera, I have this very fine tinsel, and previously I've put this on. Hang on. I'm holding the camera. I should have stood it up somewhere, shouldn't I? But previously I'll wrap it round in that. I have 2 lots of this, and 2 lots tends to fill it. I also have, which I haven't come across yet, I'm not sure where they're hiding, but what I also have is some pearls, strings, masses of strings of pearls, and I usually do them in the old-fashioned Victorian sense. Sometimes I speak too quickly for myself. I don't get the entire word out. Anyway, I'm not going to blame the menopause. So yeah, I kind of, and all I do, I don't tie anything. They're just hung on the branches or going over the branches. And I'll get the strings and I'll just kind of do, oh, what's that? What's it called when you go like that? Do you know what I mean though? I'll get a strand of pearls and I'll just loop it and then drape it over a branch and loop it again, and I'll do several rows going round, and usually I'll put that on first, because then what I tend to put on is, I've got a mixture of bows here. I've got these bows, oh, I'm banging into the bells, and I've got some of these bigger bows which are wired so I can manipulate them and fluff them out, which will complement this ribbon that I've got. Usually for this tree I do swirls, just like I did on the pink shabby chic tree that I showed you. If you look back at the shabby chic one, which is number 3 in the 12 trees of Christmas, I need to start singing a song, don't I? No, not again, you shouted, please don't. Anyway, if you look back at that video, I show you how I use wired ribbon like this, and not even wired ribbon, it doesn't have to be wide, but I just twirl it around the tree. And so this is what I previously used on this tree, cream or off-white, and then this green. But I wanted it, but I saw this ribbon. Where did I get this? I got it in Kendal. Oh, I got it from a shop in Kendal. I think it's like a unique shop to the town. They sell absolutely all sorts, haberdashery, clothing, tools, I think, toys, seasonal things. Anyway, it was so cheap, so I got quite a bit of it, and I just thought rather than putting different ribbons on, I might see what it looks like with this. And then I have also, last year I made just simple green velvet bows, and again, I can show you now. I just hook it over and let it hang down. But I think I also made these because I think I had them hanging. Did I show you this the other night? So the lights aren't on this at the moment. The timers are going to come on shortly, so it's not lit up. But I might add some ribbon to this. We'll see. So there we go. I thought I'd give you a little update, and I'll come back. Okay, so we're back, and I've pretty much finished. I still have a few bits to do in this room, but I'm going to turn the camera around and I'll show you where we're at. So in here, it all starts with the garland. I need to complete this before I do the tree, and it's a layered process. I've added ribbons. I've added a few more little acorn lights, and I might tweak things yet, but that's where it is and probably how it will stay. The tree has now got all its lights on, all its decorations on. In the end, I left off the super big bows, and I left off the pearls. I didn't want swags this time. Oh, the bell's gonna go. It's the clock. Let's have a look. Look at the clock. You always hear this one chime. It's 8 o'clock. And I haven't got long because tea's in the oven. I made cottage pie. We haven't had that for a long while, as we do try to avoid carbohydrates, but I thought for a change, why not? So anyway, instead, I've gone for swirls of ribbon in this ribbon that I showed you. And I could have done probably with a whole lot more of it, really. I bought 10 meters, and it's taken the 10 meters, and it's still quite, you know, a bit gappy in places. I could have probably done with another 10 more meters. And then I've just gone for the simple green velvet bow, very fine, with long tails so that they hang down. And basically it's just full of all the decorations that I've collected over the years. So there's this one here, lovely snowflakes. There's toadstools in various different shapes and colours, from browns to this kind of icy greeny blue. I've got my little birds that clip on, and my little swans that clip on. I've got our Lord there, like a glass window. I love snowdrops, so I've got my snowdrops. I have this tiny little angel here, tied with silk ribbon, that my mum brought me back from Italy. She likes to go to the lakes in Italy, and I brought this back from Venice many years ago, this little cherub. And there you can see the Magic Kingdom from Disney World, which I got on holiday many years ago, staying at my parents' house with the children. You can see I've got a little snow baby. It's a really tiny one with a little tiny bunny, and she's playing the little flute or the little instrument. And I have another teeny tiny, oh, where is it? Oh, here we are. Look at this one. She's saying her prayers. And Mum brought me back this one when she went to the west coast of America, and she was touring around all of California, and yeah, and that is so cute. So I do have a lot of decorations that all mean something, whether the children have made them and the children have bought me them. I mean, this little glass sweetie, my daughter bought me many years ago, so it's precious. At the bottom, I've got a sled. Now, originally, I think it was red. Now, I have a very old red sled, so I thought, well, I don't need two. So I painted this like an off-white. Is it picking it up? And then I have my gift wrap presents. These are faux with lovely pale blue forget-me-nots. And then I put lace, velvet ribbon, and then the finer brown. And then I clipped on some earrings that belonged to my gran many years ago. Then in this little box, let me just move myself a little closer. So Mum gave me this, and this was always at the top of Mum's tree, or my Nana's tree. So as my mum was growing up, and even when my mum left home, this was always at the top of my grandparents' tree on my mum's side. And there isn't anything really to hang it anymore. And rather than, I just love to show it. I got this box, and it's got the clear plastic front, and then I tied some pale duck egg blue silk ribbon around it, and I just like to display it like that. And you can see another diamante earring that belonged to my gran. And even no, I'm getting on my knees, bear with me. Oh, I'm creaking. So on Sunday and Monday this week, I had the day off work, and I've been knelt down in the garden in the freezing cold, picking up leaves off the gravel and every little bit to stick, little twigs and things. So it really has been tough on the knees. Anyway, so hang on, I'm just going to have to push the stick up on this. So bear with me, wobbling again. All right, now then, there we go. So I have this string of other acorns. They're slightly larger than the ones in the swag. And then what I've done to them is I've tied green ribbon bows around them. And then can you see behind, again, and a little bit of the diamante at the end, is a necklace. It's like two strings. And again, that was my gran's. And I just love to display it and show it off on this sledge every year. I'm not sure my dad realises that I do that. I'll have to point it out to him this year, see what he thinks. I think my gran, I think I get a lot of my creative streak, not just from my mum, but also I think from my gran. My gran loved to sew. I think if my gran was around now, she'd be making all sorts of different things too. So yes, so over here, I've got, now bear with me while I get back off these creaky knees. Oh, here, still never been unwrapped. Robert and I got this many years ago from Forman and Mason's. And I'll tell you a story about it at another time. But there's 4 beautiful decorations in there that have never been out of the box. Every year I display it just like this, and I've got a lovely old vintage postcard. Well, this year I want to see them. So I think I'm going to unbox it with Robert And maybe if Robert will agree, we can unbox it for you so you can watch us, and we'll tell you the reason why we've never unwrapped them. So then I've got my faux presents, and this faux present I've saved beautiful gift tags that my friend made one year, and she even needle felted the mistletoe. Then new this year I got these lovely, now where did I get these from? Where did I get these from? Oh, that's right, I think they were at Beetham. Are they at Beetham? Oh my goodness. Did I get them? Or I could have got them from a shop in Kendal. I'm not sure, but I got two. And I just like displaying this on some old books. And then this table in the corner, I've got another one. And then again with some faux presents. And then if I bring you up here, on top of our bureau, so a lovely garland that I got from Home Bargains. And I've just trimmed it with these pears and the gold pears. And then the geese garland I've just balanced on the top. So it's actually like a paper cutout. And I got that from, now then, I picked that up when we went down to the Cotswolds. I got it from, is it called the Cotswold Company? It's in Burford, and they sell all sorts of beautiful things. I picked it up in there. I love it. And I've got two lovely wooden cutouts of holly. And I got those in Kirby Longsdale in a shop that I think it's a shop that's full of all homemade wares that local artists have made, and they all come together and they sell them in the shop. And I got those from there. I love how rather than deep and dark, they're lovely and faded and muted. So I really like those. Love this little corner. So I've got my gold acorns on top of the mirror. It's trimmed with the ribbon, some little lights, and again a garland. And I just, well, what I do love to do is peer through the mirror at the room. And now I can do that because with this little mirror that I brought through from the sitting room, now there's not much light shining on this one. And then from here I've added this little tree. Mum got me this tree many years ago, and it was on a wooden, this stand pushed through it. It was only a white stand. I thought, I'm going to put it in a pot this year. And then this little snowman, I think I picked up somewhere like Hobbycraft or whatever it's called. I'm not sure what it's called these days, but it was plain cardboard looking. So I've painted it, and then I knitted it a scarf. And just to show you how tiny this scarf is, I knitted it on hat pins, which was rather tricky and prickly. I've got this cute little pumpkin next to it that I picked up in Kendal. And then I've added a garland here. I've got some gold bells. And then I've got this little character here holding a little sprig of mistletoe, and I love a little red gloves. So again, going up to this mirror, I just love, hello, to look through. So I like to peer through. Just gives a different view on the room, doesn't it? And look through the mirror. So here's the other side of the room. So I've literally only really just finished, and I still might titivate this. So I'm bypassing. I'll come back to it. So what do you think of this? I've got a beautiful garland of trees that my so talented friend Linda, she's so amazingly talented, knitted for me many years ago. I love it. So I've got that hung underneath, and then I think I showed you, which is probably a week or so ago now since I've filmed the last bit of this video that you've seen. This is the final part. So I've added to this garland. So basically I've added the gold bells, the little bells, the big bells, and then bells I've just tied to the top. I've twisted round some wired ribbon so you can get that lovely coiled effect. I've added these flowers that I got last year, and I've cut them short. They were very, very long, and I thought I'm not going to do anything with them. So I've cut them short and pushed them through. And then the final thing is this horn. Don't even know if you can make it out. And I just hope it doesn't slip or fall off. It's tied in a couple of places. Robert held it while I tied it. And so there you go. So if I found a couple more kind of brass horns or something not too big, I just quite like the idea of that. So that is the garland above my settle with my pile of books. They're all from TK Maxx. I turn the camera around, you'll be able to see the titles. But aren't they pretty? Such pretty colours. And then I've got my basket of faux presents. And then over here I've got my other basket of faux presents and my knitted pair. The knitted pair I got from the Honesty shop in Coniston in Cumbria. So taking you up here to my lovely picture, and then you can see the swag that I did on top of that. And basically all I've done is I've tied together 3 ornaments. The acorns I actually took off the tree. And the green wire that I've used previously, the green ribbon that's wired, I've previously used on the tree. I've used just to decorate the top. And then it's more of the same garland from Home Bargains that I've pulled together. And actually, the best way to do it, because it's really, if you get the garland from Home Bargains, it is so very well tied together. It takes ages to get it apart. And the best thing I found in the end was a wreath. The wreaths that they sell, they just pulled out the pieces, which was so quick, so easy. And so they just kind of bent over the top and just kind of balanced in place. And hopefully they'll stay like that. So before, when I showed you my clock, love, can you see this picture? I love this picture of my Jane Austen ladies. I feel like it's straight out of Sense and Sensibility. They're all being very busy. Or maybe even, well, it is, isn't it? It's the 3 girls and their mum. I've got my silhouettes. And we've got the clock. And then here, in my ivy, where I've got a little bird's nest, I hang this little clock. I do love clocks. I've just got a little toadstool there. And then here I've got this beautiful frame with this lovely, now I don't know if I'm going to be able to get close to it enough. Can you see? It's embroidered. It's lots and lots and lots of teeny tiny French knots, all in the shape of a Christmas tree. And my dear friend Linda, once again, made that one year. It was, I think, was this one a card? But she actually framed it for me. So sweet, so dear. I've kept all her cards over the years because they're always something special. And then in the corner here, this isn't finished yet. I still need to titivate this, and probably a lot of it I'll titivate and change as the season progresses. But I need to gather some things for here. I need some ivy to trail down here and to go across the top. And I've got plenty of box that I still need to trim. So I was thinking of using box. However, I might save the box for my wreaths. I've still got the door wreaths to do. I've still got my autumn wreath on the other side of this door. So that needs to come down. That's full of the hydrangea paniculata, which is it's gone to that faded brown colour now. So I need to bring that in, and I need to crack on with my Christmas wreaths. So whether I make a video for that, I don't know. You might all be fed up of me by then. Anyway, so this is work in progress. I've basically just quickly hung them up for now. But I love all these bells. Cowbells and sleigh bells that are all exaggerated and oversized. I just think they're so sweet. And the gilding picks out the gilding of my mirror. I love this mirror with the bow. So that's that little corner there. And then this table really is work in progress. And as you can see, I've not my shade. It's straight in this beautiful shade. And above it, my beautiful picture. I do think she's pretty. Just bear with me. I know I'm angling it wrong. Isn't she beautiful? So, I still need to, I'm not happy with this table. You know, it's been done very quickly. It's work in progress, and I might completely change everything on it. But it's just the last few bits of things that I do tend to have in this room, which includes this little acorn. That's usually on the tree, but this time I've used the same, and it's like the palest, like yellow lemon, even paler than butter. Ribbon, silk ribbon I've tied to this leaf and acorn. Then many years ago, I got this Swarovski, I think that's how you say it, crystal snowman. And then, no, I can't remember where I found this snowman, but it's like, you know, the Russian dolls where they're inside of each other. Well, that's what this is. You can see the crack there. Well, it's actually an opening. It pulls apart, and there's lots of different ones inside. I haven't done it. I don't open it because it is very old. As you can see, it's got chippy paint, and there is a crack down the other side, so I don't tend to open it. These snow babies I've had many years. I love these. I love them with their little snowflakes. And look at this one. Can you see from the side? It's blowing a snowflake. Oh, so cute. Kissed by a snowflake. And then this is a different type of snow baby. I got this from a shop in Worley many years ago. And I just remember it costing 99p. I got quite a few of them. And they were I just think they're so beautiful. I love the rosy cheeks. So here I've got my collection of silver glass trees, the mercury glass trees. You can see here, also by the same Snow Baby brand, I've got the ice skate. I've got another beautiful tag by my same friend Linda. Look at that. Can you see that? I mean, this is tiny. This is teeny tiny, and they are all French knots. She's just so amazing to spend all that time for this most beautiful tag. So I keep these tags, and that's another one of her little mistletoe, which I've adorned this. Again, it's a stack of 3 faux presents, because I just think they make lovely display items. This is the little terrier that I got in Kendal from Nutshell for £1 the other week. If you saw, was it Christmas tree number 9, was it? No, that was Peter Rabbit, wasn't it? Number 8, I did a shopping haul And that's the little fox terrier I got. Gosh, that was a great shopping day. I really did get some bargains. Can you see my little mouse? My little mouse on there with a little basket. That's a basket that I embroidered a few years ago. Again, you can see how tiny it is because of the size of the wool. So the windowsill I've not done yet. That's work in progress. And I got another basket of fur presents there. I still got things to sort out here. And then in the corner I've got the beautiful fishing basket that my mum gave me and a lovely reef on top. So I need to kind of titivate that. But there you go. Back to the tree. There we go. Finally is this little table in between our two doors here where I have this mirror. Oh, and also don't forget I've got my mistletoe, my lovely mistletoe. And Robert said, why is it to one side this year? Normally it's straight in the middle, and every time we meet we kiss. So it's a bit miffed that it's to one side, but I said, well, it still works. So here, I didn't show you this one. This is another snowman that I made many years ago. It's just made out of some white linen, and then I've knitted the scarf and not needle felted, but sewn the felt hat. I've got more snow babies down here, and then this little bottle brush tree I glued on some little pearls and some little bits of diamante. And then last but not least is up here with my lovely paper mache bells. Again, we have more of the spruce and a lovely taffeta blue bow. And I love, oh, when I come down now, you can see our tree through the mirror. I just love that. And then see our little teddy bear sitting in his corner. And then I've got a simple little tree here. Nothing on it. It's just got a couple of rusty snowflakes. And then I've just added this lovely silk. Now it doesn't look the same colour here. This is a lovely kind of terracotta, but not orangey, more corally silk ribbon. And I've just tied that to this glass dome. This beautiful acorn. These lovely lemon, really pale lemon snowflakes. And then here I've got my Hummel, baby Jesus. And then two of those snow babies I was just talking about. And then on this table, again, I've got the most beautiful, beautiful knitted tree garland, again by my dear friend Linda. I love it. I love how I can see it from every corner. I like having it against the white lace tablecloth because it just stands out. So there we go. I love looking through there. It's like looking into a different world. My bells. So everybody, that concludes tree number 12 in our 12 trees of Christmas. I love Christmas. I love decorating for Christmas. And I shall probably continue tweaking, adding, changing until I take them down in January. And that'll be the end of January. Because you never know what you might see in the sale. Or what just suddenly pops to mind and I think, oh, what if I try that? But anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this series, the 12 trees of Christmas. I've really enjoyed showing them to you. And next will be the full home tour. I'll take you through the house, make sure all the fairy lights are lit, all the trees are lit up, and hopefully it'll be a lovely time together. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for all your continued support, your wonderful messages. It means everything to me, it really does. And happy Christmas to you all.